Morning, good evening. This is a talk about Qigong, healing through Qigong, getting well again. So we have to talk about what exactly that we do in Qigong therapy. Yeah. Briefly, when we talk about Qigong therapy, there are two major categories. Number one, self-healing. Self-healing Qigong. You practice on your own. Okay. So that you get well. The second one is what we call external qi healing. Uh, I have a friend who said that this is also called New York healing. A German friend said that because the New Yorkers refuse to practice, they want you to do everything for them. You know, you send qi to them, and then they don't lift a finger. So he said that the external qi healing is very good for New Yorkers. So he called it New York healing. Now, when it comes to external qi healing, we can subdivide it into two sections. One is distance healing. Yeah. This is getting very popular because of the pandemic. So people can meet on site face to face, and distance healing become more and more popular because more and more of them realize that there's not much of a difference between distance and on-site. Yeah, when it comes to external qi healing. The other one is information healing. We're going to talk a bit about distance healing and information healing. Now, a common question from some clients and also some practitioners is that does it work? You know, when I meet you in person, you send qi that way. You know, I can see you, you can see me, and I can feel you, you can feel me. But let's say you are not in front of me. You are like what we have now, some from Poland, some from New York, some from where? Some some from Singapore. Okay, so far away. Is the healing still effective? Are we able to connect? Definitely. We are very happy to say that there's a report published by the University of Helsinki earlier this year saying that they conducted experiment. Yeah, they found that when gamers, online gamers, when they are playing, their brain wave synchronized, despite the fact that they are not seeing each other, they are not meeting. There's no physical presence online. That means they are connected. Likewise, for distance healing, the distance doesn't matter. Before this pandemic, we used to have classes and lessons on site, you know, twice a week at school hall. And then during the pandemic, you have to stop. After the pandemic, we check with most of those who have been attending the class regularly. They say, no, we stay online. We meet on Zoom. Why? Because they don't have to spend the time to travel from office to the practicing hall, and then after that, go home again. They can straight go home, switch on your computer. Come the time is they don't have to spend time on the road. Yeah. So this is getting more and more popular. I don't know, at least from at my place, this is getting very popular. Okay. Now, this is information healing. Information healing is something like I said that it is founded on a quantum entanglement. So in quantum entanglement, when you have two identical photons separated thousands of miles away, if there's a change on one, there will be a change on the other one simultaneously. The trick is what? The trick is that they are the two photons, they are identical twins. Okay. So in information healing, what do we do? In information healing, how can you create a identical twin of another person? That's not possible, isn't it? You can't clone a human being. But we found that if you were to use the facial photo of a real person, and then you send information to that photo, you can bring the effect. You're going to make changes to the real person also. We have conducted several experiments on this, and well, we even published a paper on this. And we have applied this to, I think, more than 200 children. I would say that we get very good response. Very, very few parents reported that they don't get any response. We tried on patients, we use it on various illnesses. So far, the feedback has been very, very encouraging. Now, then many friends started to ask how to do this. Yeah, I read your paper and I found that the way you describe it is rather simple. Are you really doing it this way, or you have something hidden that you're not revealing? No, we tell you everything. Yeah. But when come to information healing, there are two very important aspects. Number one, the ability of your information or your intention to make changes to the outside world, be it in information therapy or distance therapy, or when you are forming a chip field. It depends on your ability to stay focused. So your ability to stay focused decides the strength of the information that you are sending out. This is number one. Okay. Number two is more important than number one. When we are sending information, you carry with the information that you are sending your own information. So let's say I am angry. Yeah, maybe I have some issues in the afternoon. I'm not happy. Yeah? And then I sit down and I send information, or I send tea to my clients. The one who are sensitive, they will be able to pick up. So let's say you are sending information without realizing your own condition to a person. You don't realize that you don't perceive whether you're happy, you're angry, or whatever. And then you send information. The client's going to pick it up. The client's going to feel whether this is good or this is bad. Right? But when you are using it on information therapy, you are playing back the recorded information 24 hourly, 7 days in a week to the subject through his facial photo. So can you imagine what kind of trouble you're going to meet? And that's the reason why that we only allow a few of our associates to do this under our banner. I mean, I copied this idea from the late Professor William Tiller. I revealed it openly, right? He used a intention host device. Over here, I use MP3 playback. Simple as that, right? And But the important issue here is what kind of information you want to send to your clients. You've got to be very clear about it. So you must be able to keep yourself calm. Only then, the information that you are sending out will not do any damage. So some friends said, "Oh, Mr. Ong, you are trying to frighten me from doing this." I said, "No, you can try to do it on your own. Then you know whether I'm telling you the truth or not." See, very simple. You do it on your own. So if there's any problem, you're gonna feel it. If you're not able to feel it, that means don't do it. Your intention has yet to produce the kind of strength necessary to make changes. Okay, I hope this this will address the many questions that I've received lately. Yeah, about information healing or information therapy. Now, coming back to Qigong practice again. So when you talk about self-healing, Qigong healing, or you talk about healing others by sending external Qi, sending information, you need to involve Qigong practice, right? You want to send Qi, you must practice Qigong. You want to get well through Qigong, you have to practice Qigong also. So when we talk about Qigong practice, we are talking about four major aspects. Number one is regulation of the physical body. What do you mean by regulation of the physical body? That means if there's a problem with your physical body, you practice Qigong correctly, you practice the correct exercise, you're going to get well. But many people misunderstood this. What do you mean by misunderstood this? I say, for instance, if you have a problem with your shoulder, okay, and when you are doing something as simple as this, open, close, or you're doing push, pull, and you suffer, you feel pain on your shoulder, what should you do? Many times we see people who have shoulder problem, but they persist in their practice. So one arm, no problem, no issue here. The other arm in pain. We don't encourage that. We don't. Honestly, as a person involved in therapeutic massage, I would say that in most cases, this kind of a physical injury, you can settle it much, much faster if you work specifically on it. But imagine you have a rotator cuff problem, and then you're struggling with your push-pull or your open-close. In most cases that I have seen, they actually aggravate the problem. Yeah. But don't take it as, okay, I practice this. Oh, 5 minutes into it, then I start to have pain. Oh, that means my physical body is not good. I need to work on my physical body. No. That is a different issue. That is because you are weak. You have yet to build up the right physical strength for you to do the exercise. You just have to persevere on it. We are talking about, let's say I do push pull. Oh, this arm can never go up. One is high, one is low. Why? This one is giving me problem. This, you have to settle this. You have to settle the problem. You have to settle the physical injury. So that is the true meaning of regulation of physical body. You regulate it. You put in specific effort to make it good, to heal it. Regulation of the breath. Regulation of the breath. Now, the way that you breathe is important, right? How do you breathe? Oh, there are many, many ways and many, many forms of breathing exercises. How you breathe? You breathe in through the mouth, you breathe in through the nose, you breathe in twice and then breathe out once. You breathe in 3 times and then you breathe out twice. You breathe and then you pronounce certain syllables. There are many forms. Yeah. So, but this one is relatively easy. Relatively easy in the sense that at the when you are doing your exercises, in most cases, you'll be told to breathe naturally. Okay. But then if you have a specific problem, let's say you have a person with a what you call a frozen diaphragm. Yeah. Post-COVID, the diaphragm is not working very well. Then you work specifically on the diaphragm. Then your breathing will be back to normal. And this is what I call regulation of the breath. Meaning we can work specifically on a particular issue. In Qigong, you can work on a specific organ. You can work on a specific issue in a much more efficient manner than just work on it without thinking, without identifying the root cause of the problem, without knowing what is behind an exercise. Yeah, that is called blind faith. Okay. Now, regulation of the mind. Regulation of the mind is about your ability to stay focused. Yeah. And this one is actually the most difficult. Regulation of the mind means to regulate your mind so that it remains calm. And this is closely linked with cultivation of virtue. Why are we not able to stay focused? Why? Anyone has any idea? Why my mind is always drifting, running around the world? Even when I'm working on physical exercises like push-pull. Why? Hello, this is a question. Do we have anyone here? Why are we not able to stay focused? We have desire. Yes. If you were to dig deep, deep, deep down into ourselves, we would realize this unwanted thoughts. The reason why we have plenty of unwanted thoughts, it is all because of our desire. We thinking of what? Thinking of money, thinking of faith, I'm thinking of name. And in most cases, you can go deep down finally to you're looking for respect. Yeah. Regulation of the mind is closely linked with cultivation of virtue. If you're able to cultivate good virtue, you would find that the ability of the mind to remain focused will get better and better and better. Some friends were joining our classes. I remember a month ago, there's a friend who wrote to me and said that he said, Now I understand what you said before. You say that come one day you would be able to tell yourself, hello, stop thinking. And you stop thinking. Serious. But behind that stop thinking, now let's say, at night you're trying to sleep. Wow, plenty happening inside the head. Keep thinking and all that. If you are able to drop your desire, you would come to a state whereby stop thinking and then pop, they just go. That's it. But of course, you got to put in effort. You need to train yourself towards that. Yeah. Now you look at all this 1, 2, 3, 4 regulation of the physical body, of the breath, of the mind, cultivation of virtue. The basis of this is what? Is inward focusing. You have to focus inward. When we talk about the cultivation of virtue here, we ask ourselves, instead of asking outside, we ask ourselves, why am I not happy? Instead of, why are they making me not happy? Why are they not making me happy? We ask ourselves, why am I not happy? Why? That is inward focusing. Simple inward focusing is things like when I push my arms out, I focus onto the changes inside and outside my body. Yeah. When I breathe in and out, yeah, I feel the breath. I drive, see in and out my body with breath. I feel my breath. I perceive the movement of breath or qi inside my body. These are simple things. When come to the regulation of the mind, cultivation of virtue, the basis of the regulation of the mind, that is the real stuff. We have to keep asking ourselves, why am I not happy? If you can really dig deep into yourself to the extent of, that you get the answer that, oh, unintentionally I'm looking for respect. You would change quite rapidly. Okay, so the basis of Qigong practice is about inward focusing. Now, then when it comes to Qigong practice, Qigong, you have kind of practice where you work on the upper dantian. You have the kind of practice that you work on the middle dantian. And you have the kind of practice that you work on the lower dantian. And you also have the form of Qigong that you work on all three. The Neng Qigong is one practice where there are so many exercises. You work on the upper dantian, means things like you chant a certain syllable, chanting or to locate the middle of your brain. That is, you work directly on the upper dantian, nothing else, just the upper dantian, right? And the previous exercise, sorry, not really previous exercise, the level 3 exercise, the 5-1 form of where you work on the internal organs, where you work on opening up the Hunyuan palace, so-called. Yeah, that is a practice where you work on a middle dantian. Middle dantian is the meeting point between the upper dantian and the lower dantian. So the intention then was that when you are working on the middle dantian, you are actually working on the two. Yeah. And lastly, you have the kind of work where we work on lower dantian. Most of the martial arts, Qigong, they work on lower dantian. Many times, many friends ask me, Zhengwei, I have a problem with my liver. I have a problem with my kidney. So am I supposed supposed to work on my middle dantian, since the middle dantian is all about the internal organs? What do you think? Or let's say I have a problem with brain cell. Yeah, I have a tumor inside. What am I supposed to do? Do I work on the upper dantian? The question is, let's say, yeah, we stick with liver, easier, not so scary. We stick with liver. Let's say I have something not good with my liver. The liver is one of the 5 internal organs. Do I work on the middle dantian, or do I work on the lower dantian? Voting time. Middle dantian is 1, lower dantian is 2. What is your vote? Two. 1, 2, 1 and 2. 1 and 2. 3. Now, lower dantian is where you store the qi for yourself. Lower dantian is the place where you store the qi to maintain metabolism of all the cells in the body. That means for the brain cell or liver cell to function well, they have to be healthy. And for them to be healthy, they need the qi of the lower dantian. You got me? So this place, lower dantian, is the center for us to store the kind of qi. Sorry, disturbance. Lower dantian is a place for us to store the qi to keep all the cells healthy. So you have a liver cell that is a liver cell that is not healthy. So the liver is not healthy, right? What is needed is actually the lower dantian qi. You work directly on the upper dantian, you become super sensitive, maybe. Yeah? You work on the middle dantian, you're supposed to get super sensitive and also super healthy, because you will be working on both the mind and the body, right? You work on the lower dantian, you make all the cells healthy first. Then your brain cells will be able to function well. Your liver cells will be able to function well. Your muscles will be able to function well. So they are not quite the same. Yeah. Most of our friends here, they know me well, that I'm an ardent fan of Dao De Jing. Dao De Jing says that empty the mind, fill the abdomen, strengthen the bones. Empty the mind means drop your desires. Drop your unhealthy desires. Not the desire to get well, but unhealthy desire. Fill the abdomen. Fill the abdomen means what? Fill the abdomen means practice a lot to build up your internal qi of your lower dantian, which is your abdomen. Strengthen the bones. When you work on your lower dantian, you are also working on your kidney qi, because kidneys are there. See? Kidney here refers to the urological and the reproductive system. So when you're working on your lower dantian, when you're working on your lower abdomen, you are working on a kidney qi. And kidney rules the bone. The kidney qi is very, very important for the health of the bone. This is in Chinese medicine. Yeah. And that's the reason why over the past 12, 13 years that I've been teaching, these training courses of Module 1, Module 2, we focus on lower dantian. We focus on the push-pull. Yeah. We focus on heavily on a standing pole or 3-center smirch, straight leg sitting. Yeah. But we don't focus on specifically exercises specifically for upper dantian or middle dantian. Right. I believe that make ourselves healthy first. Yeah. Then the rest will come. First, make ourselves healthy. Yeah. And tonight we are talking about getting well again. Yeah. We are not talking about serious progress. Serious progress is another issue. So tonight is very much similar to what we call our Module 1. You get healthy first. Now, I'm sure many of you have heard about this, that nurses and all that, they reported that, or those nurses who work in the hospice, they said that, this patient with terminal illnesses, many times they regret of, and then they say things like, I wish that I could have spent more time with families. I wish that I could have spent more time with this and that, with my friends. Sometimes I find that that's not really that true. Yes. And about a week ago, I read this. This doctor wrote, what's the most common regret that he had met? And I agree with him. Yeah. Perhaps because on average, I see one new cancer patient every week on average. Yeah. With the pandemic online, still we see one new case almost every week. This year, not so many, because we're getting a little bit busy this year, and then we're cutting down the operating hours of our Qigong clinic. Yeah. And many times they are old patients, or they are practitioners. Previously, they were practicing Qigong, they were practicing Zhenan Qigong, they were practicing this Qigong, that Qigong. And then they come to you. Because now they have this illness, this frightening illness called cancer. And many of them, they tell you this, that the most common regrets to them, many of them, is that, I should have taken better care of my body. I should have taken better care of it. I should have done this. I shouldn't have dropped this. No. That's the most common regret. That I would agree with this doctor when he said, yeah, that the most common regret is that I should have done this. I should have done that. I should have done this and that for my health. Yeah. Many times I tell the patients that if you're able to stand up to practice, stand. If you're not able to stand up, you sit down and practice. Yeah. But do keep in mind that you have to practice. If you really want to get well through Qigong, you have to practice. Yeah? Now, what do you see on the screen? What do you see? Let me know what do you see on the screen now. Black dot, white paper with black dot. Wow, this one very detailed. White paper with dot on red stuff. Okay. 2 days ago, we had a similar talk, and then we asked the same question. What do you see? Most of them, they answered that, oh, there's a black dot on the paper. They said, oh, because that you joker, you always ask us to stare at the black dot. So immediately I recognize the black dot. But why I ask this question is not, this is not related to the practice of staring at black dot to bring up your ability to remain focused. Yeah, not here, not this evening. Now, what do you think is behind this most common regret? Like I said, some of them they have practiced before. What is behind this? What is behind it? Did you not see the white of the paper? This is what I asked the participants 2 days ago. Yeah. And they say that, oh, I thought many of them, they attended our classes before. They, oh, I thought you were asking me to say black dot, so I recognize the black dot. But there are many, immediately they say that this is black dot. But they did not see the white of the paper. See? And that is the problem. That is the thing behind the most common regret. That many times, many people, they don't realize or they are not aware of what is happening to them. What is happening to their body? What is happening to their emotions? And they develop a problem because of that. Yeah. Now, if you were to read the modern science or in those in Chinese medicine, it will tell you that 75%, some said now 80%, some papers said 80%, 25% of all the chronic illnesses, yeah, they are rooted in the mismanagement of emotions. People get high blood pressure, people get cancer, people get this, that, these serious chronic illnesses because they are not able to manage their emotions. Why are they not able to manage their emotions? Because they are not aware. They are not aware that they are getting angry all the time. They are not aware that they are getting frustrated all the time. They are not aware that they are sad most of the time. Now, those people who are happy all the time, they are not aware they are happy all the time. There's that one, no problem. But of course, we are not talking about that kind of crazy level of happiness. Yeah. So mismanagement of the emotions is the biggest problem. Now, how am I going to settle this problem? Can I feel good in 2 minutes? Is it possible to feel better in 2 minutes? We have done many experiments this one. Yeah, I remember 2 years ago when I gave the class and talking about this. This friend told me this. I said that mind cancer patients, rule number one, they learn this. Why they learn this? Because they are supposed to feel good. Because they have not been feeling good for a long, long time. They have been focusing on the black dot. They have forgotten about the white patch of the paper. So the first thing I want them to do is feel good. And this is the exercise I want them to do. Yeah. What exercise is that? This exercise. See, this is something very simple. You spread out your arms on breathing in. You restore your arms on breathing out. You breathe in. You breathe out. Simple. Is that simple? Super simple. Right? But of course, when we are talking about doing this correctly, if you watch me correctly, I am doing it this way. Yeah. Breathing in, my body is arching a little bit to the front. Breathing out, my arms restore. Simple. Very, very simple exercise. Many, many times, yeah, I have this question from friends who ask me, it's only I've had this problem years ago. Yeah. I've had cancer. I did all my treatment and all that. I got well. But lately, I found something not right with me. My markers went up. Yeah. Or I have difficulties in sleeping for years. And then I joined your class. I got well. And then I stay with the practice. I'm still practicing, But I found lately I'm not able to sleep again. The problem comes back. So why? Why is this happening? And lately there was a friend who wrote to me and said that, oh, I had my treatment for my cancer, no? And I've been practicing regularly. I practice twice a day. Each time I practice half an hour of this lift chi up. Yeah. And then the one in the evening, I normally I add in 15 to 20 minutes of pre-sentence merge. So I practice twice a day minimally, every day without fail. Even when I'm going on holiday, I still practice. And I don't understand why my marker has gone up in the last 6 months. I'm actually panicky now. And that's the reason why I write to you. And if it's possible, I can fly to Penang to see you. Just from Singapore. So I said, look, you have been practicing the physical exercises in a very physical manner. You take that as your duty, as your job. And most people, they don't like their job. Huh? That's why we have this Monday blues. They don't like their job. So every time you do, you are not happy. So the efficacy of your practice is low. The first thing you have to do is to change your mind. is to change your attitude towards your practice. What do you mean by changing my attitude towards my practice? Are you saying that my practice is wrong? I'm not saying your practice is wrong. I'm just saying that there are 1, 2, 3, 4. And the most important thing is what? It's a regulation of the mind. It's the cultivation of virtue. Put in plenty of efforts on that. And then you'll see big changes. But how? How to put in effort to make changes to it? I said, first thing, we do something very simple. We do this 10 open close. Only 10, not more than 10. Every time we do it, you do it slowly. 10 open close. But I want you to do it 5 to 10 times a day. No excuse that you cannot find the time, because this 10 open close is going to take you maybe 90 seconds. Yeah. 5 times a day. How long? 2 minutes, 10 minutes? The whole thing, whole package in a day is only 10 minutes. You don't have an excuse. If you were to do it 10 times in a day, then you are talking about 20 minutes. Oh, sorry. There's no excuse that you are not able to do it. Yeah. Now you're spending how much time? You're spending 90 minutes a day in your practice. See? Now again, I have to tell you, I'm talking about getting well again. I'm talking about addressing the mismanagement of emotions. And to address the mismanagement of emotions, you have to bring up your awareness. Awareness of what? Aware of what? Aware of whether you are calm or not. Now, before we get into practice, before we conduct the experiment, look at this. Look at it and take deep breath to feel inside yourself. I don't want to show you my face. Feel inside your chest while looking at the photograph. Now look at this. Same thing. Can you tell the difference between 1 and 2? This is 1. Oh, sorry. This is 1. This is 2. Question number 1. Can you feel the difference? Yes or no? 1 is yes, 2 is no. Question number 2. All of you can feel the difference, yeah? Wow, all of you have extrasensory perception, ESP. The ESP is not so difficult. You don't have to work specifically on it. Now, question number 2. Which one do you feel good? 1 or 2? Okay, all of you say 2. Next question. What was your expression during your practice? 1 or 2? What's your facial expression when you are practicing Qigong? You don't know. Yeah. Get your family members or your friends to take a photograph of a face. You know? Many people who has yet to fallen in love with the practice, they'll show you this. They'll show you number 1. Our friend says sometimes forgot to smile. Yeah. Sometimes start with 1, always end with 2. This is good. See? Now, this is important. Many times, many clients, they're actually doing this when they practice. They're doing the, particularly those who have physical injury on their shoulders. The most common exercise in Zhenan Qigong is this push pull. Yeah. So when I say, show me how you do your push pull. I don't want to see this face. And they do it, and then you see the way they struggle with it. I say, why you want to bring pain to yourself? That's for your shoulder. Then you're gonna have fun with the practice. See, regulation of the physical body is something you gotta look at it in a correct manner. This is number one. This is number two. Many times I ask them to do this, they do this. See, I want you to soar up to the blue sky, but you prefer to struggle in the pool, in the pond. See, this is awareness. This is important. Again, you can ask a friend to check on you during, you are on-site practice or whatever, and see how they practice. I've been saying that if you really want to get well, we have yet to talk about serious practice. I'm not here talking about serious practice. Okay? I'm just talking about getting well again. All right? They are two different levels of practice. But even if you want to get well again, make sure you execute the exercise correctly. This is big, open, close. This worst. Many of them, they are doing it this way. They're clawing up their fingers and they do it this way, mechanically. So this one, if they are on site, that will be easier. I would hold their hands and fingers, spread them out. Immediately they can feel the difference. Doing the exercise correctly, executing the movements correctly is absolutely important. Absolutely. That is the whole purpose of dynamic exercise. You make changes through physical movement. Okay. Now, then another question is that they'll keep asking you, oh, Mr. Wee, my master say, when you open up, you breathe out. When you close in, you breathe in. That there are 1,001 forms of breathing. Okay. You go to an Indian restaurant, you eat Indian food. You go to a Chinese restaurant, you eat Chinese food. You don't go to an Indian restaurant and asking for Chinese food. You practice this, you follow the rules of this. On breathing in, you spread out your arms. Why you want to why you want to go to an Indian restaurant and ask for, hello, I want Chinese fried rice? Okay? So follow the rules. Right? You have any questions before we take you into a very, very short practice? No question, yeah? Okay. Now, close your eyes. Take deep breath. 2 or 3 deep breaths to feel whatever you can feel inside your body. Okay. Now, open your eyes. Remember, corner of your mouth, corner of your lips, looking for your ear loops. And you're going to soar up. You're going to fly up to the sky. Right? Now, Bring your arms to the front of your body. Close your eyes and do it on your own. All right? On breathing in, spread out your arms as if you're soaring up to the sky. On breathing out, restore your arms. On breathing in, your body's arching a little bit to the front. On breathing out, you restore them. On breathing in, on breathing out, I put my body in open. Continue on your own. Okay, put your hands down on your thighs. Keep your eyes closed. Deep breath. Can you tell the difference before and after? Can you tell the difference before and after the 10 open close? One is yes, two is no. Ah, very supportive crowd. Well, I'll say yes. Okay, number two, how long do you think you can keep yourself in this state? Throughout the whole day? Now you understand why I get my clients to do it 5 or 10 times a day. Yeah. Because the black dot is yelling at them. They have forgotten the white patch of the paper. They have forgotten about what is coming. Many times, many clients, after the 10 open close, their eyes turn teary when they take deep breath. Teary. And then they would say that when you ask them, when was the last time you felt it this way? They say, honestly, cannot remember. So this is something very simple. It takes very little time. Yeah. But if you were to do this, it is just like the more you befriend calmness, the easier you're going to get calm. See? The more that you befriend this state of calmness, the easier for you to get back to it. Yeah. Then now you understand what's the benefit of this exercise, this simple exercise. One question here. Can we practice other forms of Qigong with Zheneng Qigong? Wow. Okay, number one is that, do you know how many forms of exercises in Zheneng Qigong? A friend of mine who worked at the center before, he said that there are more than 400. Number two, if you were to pay attention to the various exercises introduced, you would see that there are exercises in Zheneng Qigong, like the earliest batch of practices, level 1, 2, 3. They were supposed to have 6 levels, but stop at level 3. They work on, the real work is actually on your middle dantian or your Hunyuan place. Okay. Subsequently, when you have SLS, you work on your lower dantian. And then you have the chanting En, you work on the upper dantian. And then you go back to what we call a form of standing meditation with the arms like this. We call it ZZZ, Zhongzi Zhuang. You're going back to middle dantian and then opening up again. So you have the answer now, whether you can practice other forms of Qigong with Zheneng Qigong. Because which form of Zheneng Qigong that you're talking about, which exercises in Zheneng Qigong that you are referring. But I always tell them this, right? Number one, you don't practice spontaneous form Qigong until and unless you are under the guidance of a teacher, a proper teacher. Okay. Number two, you don't practice orbital, serious orbital form. That means they move on inside the spine. That kind of a serious orbital form without the guidance of a teacher. Right? Otherwise, I don't see any problem, honestly. Yeah. But like what I've said earlier, I always advocate on keeping ourselves healthy first. All the rest will come. Yeah, live long first. Then we pick up other skills. Any more questions? Okay, how do you breathe? Yeah, you can breathe in through your nose and you can breathe through your mouth, no problem. Normally, if you were to breathe in and out through your mouth or nose, only 10 breaths. Yeah, but if you were to practice long and you're breathing in and out through your mouth, you're gonna have dry mouth. Okay. Now, we have a big open house coming Tuesday and Thursday. Yeah, Penang time, 9 a.m. New York is Monday and Wednesday. Yeah, New York is Monday and Wednesday, 9 p.m. Penang time is 9 a.m. You join us. This is the last 2 sessions of the year. Okay. Sorry, those in Europe, the middle of the night. Answer for your question about practicing many forms. Oh, long story lah. Okay, I've said it. In Zheneng Qigong, there are various exercises where you focus on upper dantian. You have exercises where you focus on middle dantian. You have also exercises focusing on to lower dantian. Okay. So personal opinion, there's no difference for you to pick to practice So let's say if you were to practice your 5-1 form or your lift chi up, at the same time practicing chanting En, you are actually mixing different forms together. You get what I mean? So there's no problem if you want to add in some other form of Qigong. But I would strongly advocate not practicing spontaneous form Qigong without the proper guidance of a proper teacher, and serious orbital form, without the proper guidance of a proper teacher. Okay. And also it is we always advocate that we work on the lower dantian. So you have to find out what is the purpose of the exercise. You don't. I'm sad to see that blind faith is the main thing in Qigong world now. Yeah. The people say that you shouldn't look outside. I'm giving you the best. I don't believe in that. Seriously, I don't believe in that. I always believe that human race, we are always going forward. There's nothing is the best. Things will keep changing, and we have to make use of our mind to understand what is behind an exercise. What is the benefit to the body during open close? You move qi in and out of the body. Yeah, this is not something really physical. But during our open house, you're talking about 45. You're talking about a practice of 45 minutes. It is 9 a.m. here. That means I think it is 9 a.m. 6 hours earlier. There's 3 a.m. in Paris. Yeah, Poland 4 a.m. No, not 4 p.m. Earlier exercise called La Shi, or I don't know what is La Shi. La Qi, are you saying? La Qi, you don't synchronize with the breath. I mean, in most cases, we synchronize with the breath. Okay. Any more questions? Okay. Bye for now. Join us if you have the time. Thank you.